Scott, it's a gut stab. Arkane boss criticizes Microsoft execs for studio closures. Andy Robinson over at VGC. Arkane Lyon boss Dinga Bakaba has publicly criticized Microsoft's executives for the decision to close studios, several studios, including its Austin studio, calling the news a gut stab. We'll just go with that. On Tuesday, the Xbox maker told staff at 4 studios, including Redfall maker Arkane Austin, that they are planned for closure. Game boss Matt Booty claimed that some of the staff would be moved to other teams and others would be laid off. Bakaba, the creative director of the critically acclaimed Deathloop and currently working on Blade, responded to the news on X with a unusually frank and critical message that we're used to seeing from somebody running a first-party studio. Quote, "This is absolutely terrible," end quote. He wrote, quote, "Permission to be human to any execs." Dude, I like that right there. Permission to be human to any executive reading this. Friendly reminder that video games are an entertainment slash cultural industry, and your business as a corporation is to take care of your artists slash entertainers and help them create value for you, end quote. He added, quote, "Don't throw us into a gold fever gambits. Don't use us as swarming for miscalculations slash blind spots. Don't make our work environments Darwinist jungles. You say we make you proud when we make a good game. Make us proud when times are tough. We know you can. We've seen it before. For now, great teams are sunsetting before our eyes again, and it's a gut stab. Lion is safe, but please be tactful and discerning about all of this, and respect affected folks' voice and leave it room for them to be heard. It's their story to tell, their feelings to express," end quote. Arkane Austin is planned to close alongside Hi-Fi Rush Studio, Tango Gameworks. Dude, I'm still.
You can't even. You just
shocked.
can't do right by Xbox.
No, not right now, right? Elder Scrolls Online co-developer Roundhouse and Mighty Doom developer Alpha Dog. The Austin team, which was initially set up in 2006, worked on its first Dishonored alongside other Arkane teams before developing the 2017 version of Prey on its own. Scott, at this point, where do we put Xbox? Because do you think Phil Spencer... I've seen a lot come up on Phil Spencer's team, too. Come going, do we fire Phil? Do we get rid of Phil? Should Phil Spencer be fired? Is the question I see going around right now. I think, honestly, Phil's heart's in the right place. I think Phil has been able to turn Xbox around from where he took off with the whole Xbox and Don Maverick days, right? He was able to really turn it around and make it feel like, hey, we're trying to fix things. And then this is where we're at now. And I just kind of go, what just happened? You bought Activision Blizzard? Did you bite off more than you can chew?
That certainly seems to be the consensus online, is that you overspent on Call of Duty, and now this is the repercussions of that. And I don't know that to be true, but I also would bet good money that Phil Spencer woke up today not enjoying this situation either. I don't think this is his direct. I don't think this is what he wants to do, rather. I think this is from pressure from stakeholders. This is a whole lot of business pieces, and you can't absolve Phil Spencer. And eventually he is at the top of the tree.
Yep.
But I'm worried that if we were to, if Phil Spencer had stepped away, or if he were to be fired instead of this, I worry that the next replacement would have just done this anyways.
I think it was just going to happen regardless of who's at the top. It just happens to be Phil right now, right? Like, that's the thing. Phil is there, so everybody just latches onto Phil to blame somebody. And at the end of the day, I think it's the investors that are coming at this, right? And this is why we're losing these studios. Tango Gameworks took to Twitter yesterday and more or less put their hands up in the air and had no idea, right? Like, this is just, wow. Speechless, I think was actually their term. And man, you got me too. Like, we've been talking about this now, what, for a year and a half, Scott? 2 years? Closures, layoffs.
Yeah.
They just continue to roll out. And when you keep buying studios, that's the biggest thing. You buy a studio, and now you're laying them all off. Like, what are you doing? Like, we crapped on Embracer for doing this. Don't think we're going to let Xbox get away with it. Don't think we're going to let PlayStation get away with it. We had a comment come up yesterday going, oh, everybody didn't say a word when PlayStation laid studios off and closed studios. Absolutely we did. And
Yes,
it's no
and
different here.
no, this is nowhere better. Xbox is seen to be supposed to be the good guy in all of this, buying studios to keep them afloat, but it's
Yeah.
not sustainable. And
Well,
there's cuts all across the board. We thought we were past this, but it's not done.
yeah, I'm curious to see what comes next. The problem is Microsoft over the years have been saying, okay, you know what, we closed Lionhead Studios back in the day. How do we learn from doing that not to do it again in the future? Well, that didn't work, did it? Did you not learn anything? Because you just shut down 4 studios, laid off an absolute ton of people. So what have you learned over those years?
And Hi-Fi Rush was a Game of the Year contender, was it not?
Yep.
It was at least in that conversation. So,
Absolutely was.
And what does Xbox need more than anything right now? A Game of the Year contender, a Game of the Year winner at
Like,
that. So this is not the way to foster that development. You can't do good by Xbox, seemingly.
And that's just it, right? So everybody's now like, do we trust Xbox? Not right now, you don't, right? Like, you put out a great game, financially successful, hits huge scores numbers. It shocks the world. And then all of a sudden you just shut the studio down. What just happened there? Like, that math to me does not line up, Scott. A good studio, a talented studio, and hits on all 4 fronts of where you need it to be, and then you shut them down. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Something's got to change, and Xbox needs to figure it out, because right now Xbox kind of sucks, dude. Because what are we playing on Xbox? A whole lot of nothing.
Ouch.
There's a whole lot of nothing happening right now for Xbox, and they've got 4 whole games coming out this year. I don't know. What a weird year to be in. But keep up to date with everything else we do, because we criticize it all, and then hopefully bring you some good news once in a while too. ITGTV.com.